Hi, my name is Brooke Michael, and I want to welcome you today to the University of Michigan Flint's webinar on our graduate nursing certificates. So these are certificates for our students that have already finished their master's degree and are now wanting to become certified in one of these areas. So we're going to talk about our adult gero acute care certificate first. So the demand for this certificate is very high. As you can imagine, there's a lot of need in the adult acute care gero certificate for a nurse practitioner. So a lot of our students are working in these bullet points you see below in veterans medical centers, hospitals, emergency departments, rehabilitation centers, or skilled nursing facilities. This certificate can be completed in as little as 20 to 29 credits, and also in as few as 4 semesters. So there are some kind of specific requirements that you need for this particular certificate that you don't really require for the remaining certificates we're going to talk about. And one is that you do need at least 1 year full-time of experience as a registered nurse with preferred experience in things like ICU or CCU experience. There's a lot of different things you can read through there and see if you maybe qualify based on your experience you've had in either an area of working in a specific area of the hospital or clinic, or working with those particular items. So the other thing we will need from you is a verified letter from your employer showing that you can begin the acute care track and your current certificate in ACLS and BLS. The thing you want to keep in mind is you have about 2 times a year that you do need to come to the Flint campus. Otherwise, the courses are done all online and your clinical rotation will be in your area. One thing you want to keep in mind is, again, you do need to have your nurse practitioner license along with your RN license. So for the psychiatric mental health, you do work with students, or I'm sorry, you work with patients in the area of psychiatric mental health. A lot of need, and especially in rural or inner city areas, there's a lot of need for nurse practitioners in psychiatric mental health. When you're doing your clinical hours, you're going to work with all different populations. So you're going to have all of the different ages. You'll see the hours there where you have 170 hours with children up to age 17. You're going to have 300 hours in 18 to 65 and about 30 hours in older adults during your certificate program. You do have about 3 to 6 visits for the postgraduate certificate, and you can complete it in as little as 22 to 25 credits and in as short amount of time as 4 semesters. So again, you do need to be a practicing nurse practitioner. So you have to have your nurse practitioner license along with your RN license, and you do need a 3.2 and a 4-point scale in your previous master's in nursing program. So for the nurse educator, again, this is another high demand certificate. As you can imagine, there's a lot of nurse educators that are coming up on retirement age, so there's a lot of need coming in for nurse educators. These are for those students that want to pass along their knowledge to the next generation of nurses. And so with this program, you can complete it in as little as 14 credits at a part-time pace and as few as 5 semesters. These are for people that want to teach in both the college, university, or even in the hospital setting. You do need a master's of science degree. It does not have to be in nursing. It could be a master's of science in healthcare administration, but you do need a valid RN license. So either your associate's degree needed to be in nursing, or you have a BSN in nursing, some way so that you can set for your RN license in the United States. So let's talk about the employment statistics in our 3 different areas today. So we're going to start with the acute care. This one, like I mentioned before, is soaring right now. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, they anticipate a 52% growth rate through 2029. It's one of the highest grossing, or one is the highest growing, I should say, fields in nurse practitioner. Your average pay is about $111,000 and that's nationally. With psychiatric nurse practitioner, again, as I mentioned before, a high need, especially in those underserved populations like inner cities and rural areas. So students that are going into that see a 26% job growth rate up through 2028. And they anticipate having up to 16,900 new jobs every year between now and 2028 in the area of psychiatric nurse practitioner need. And then average pay nationally for that is again $115,000. For your nurse educator, again, a shortage in that area. They see a 18% growth rate for that. And as I was mentioning before, the national average for growth rate in any job is like 4%. So all of these are just skyrocketing in comparison to most jobs out there. And the average pay for the nurse educator, if you're working at a college or a university, the average pay nationally is about $90,000. And if you're working in a hospital, it's an average pay of $119,000. So why should you choose the University of Michigan-Flint for one of these certificates? So the first reason is that we have really great faculty. They're highly trained and they're very flexible. So they have virtual office hours that are convenient to you. So we know you guys are working nurses and you maybe need those extended time slots, and they're often all available for you virtually. They also work really closely with our students on research projects, and a lot of times end up publishing with the students and the faculty together on a lot of different research projects. It is a University of Michigan degree. So a lot of students are confused by that. They think, oh, what's University of Michigan-Flint? We are the University of Michigan. You get the same diploma. It's signed by the same people. It has the same alumni benefits, and it's still nationally recognized as a high education. And so that's the other thing, is we're widely respected for the quality of our education. So when employers are seeing that University of Michigan-Flint degree, they know you are well educated. And a lot of times that bumps you up a tier whenever they're sorting out those resumes for jobs. We have an online format for our courses. So like I said, all the courses are on all of these certificates are offered online, and you'll do your clinicals in your area, and you only have to come to Flint a couple of times a year. And then we are accredited by the CCNE. So that's really important. Again, when you're looking for those jobs, they like to see that you have come from a CCNE accredited program. Upon completing these certificates, you are eligible to set for the respective exam. So it's not just a certificate or a piece of paper. You will be eligible to set for the National Nurse Practitioner, Nurse Educator exam after you completed the certificates. And we have a 86 to 100% test pass rate, depending on which certificate, whether or MSN or DNP program. So all of our programs, graduate programs, 86 to 100% pass rate on the first attempt, which is way higher than the national average. So how do you apply? So you want to visit our website at umflint.edu/apply. There is a $55 application fee. If you attended one of our webinars, you will get a code to waive that fee, and that will waive the fee for a week. So once you get that email, know you have a week to apply and get that code waived. Even if you're not able to turn all the stuff in, we're going to talk on the next screen in the next couple of weeks. If you can at least get this done, that gets that $55 application fee waived. And you just click the first time user creation button, and then make sure you pick graduate programs from the drop down menu. So these are the additional things that you need to turn in after you fill out that application. These things, we'll talk about the deadlines when all of this needs to be turned in on the next couple of slides. I'm not going to go through each and every one of them. You can read them on your own time. At the top, you'll see our website in that yellow bar. You can go to that website and see all of this information, along with the fact that you get this slideshow emailed to you. So you need to fill out the supplemental application, send in your original transcripts, your curriculum resume, and then you need a copy of your nursing license. Then one thing I want to point out is your professional goal statement. So you have to have a professional goal statement. You'll see there are like 4 bullet points underneath professional goal statement. You need to make sure to speak to each and every one of those goal statement bullet points. So a lot of our students just think, oh, I just write a goal statement and I'm good to go. And they don't speak specifically to these different bullet points. There is a rubric to this goal statement, and if you don't speak to that part, then you get all the points removed from that. So make sure you speak to each one of those bullet points in your goal statement. Same thing with the 3 letters of recommendation down below. That kind of throws students off sometimes. You do need 3 letters of recommendation, and you'll see there are 3 bullet points down below. That does not mean you have to have 1 from each bullet point. You just need 3 total letters of reference, and they need to come from one of those 3 bullet points. You could have 2 from one category and 1 from another, or you could have all 3 from one category or 1 from each. It doesn't matter, just as long as your letters of recommendation are coming from those bullet points down below. So the application deadlines, let's talk about those. So that's when you need to have all that stuff on the last screen turned in. Fall start is for psychiatric mental health and nurse educator. So if you're planning on doing one of those 2 certificates, that is a fall start each year. And you need to have everything on that last screen turned in by August 1st to start that fall semester. So August 1st to start in the fall semester. If you're wanting to do the acute care, adult gero acute care, that is a spring start, and you need to have everything done by February 1st. Just so that you're aware, if you're coming from another school, spring for us is the May start. I know some schools call spring a winter, what we call winter start, and they start in January, but spring for us starts in about May or end of April. And you need to have everything turned in by February 1st for that. So if you want to book an appointment with one of us to talk about one of these certificates or a graduate program, you absolutely can. If you want to book a pre-admission appointment, so you don't want to really apply yet, you've got some questions first before you fill it out, then you can always book with me, Tiffany, Jennifer, or Stephanie. We will help you through and answer those pre-admission questions that you may have. You can book on this website. And the easiest way to get to it is online.umflint.edu and click the book an appointment button at the top of the screen. Once you've been admitted, Julie is your advisor. And so you would pick post-admission from that drop-down menu, and then you'll see Julie's name and you'll be able to book with Julie. If you have questions, you can always email or call Julie, and her contact information is right there. So we want to thank you so much for attending our webinar today. If you have any additional questions, feel free to send an email back or contact Julie. Thanks, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.